Okay, wanted to go over with you on moving to St. Kitts preparations and what you need to do. First of all, if you're thinking about moving to St. Kitts, I would be thinking about, first of all, do you want to move your stuff down here first before you move into your place, especially if you're going to get citizenship and you're going to live here, or if you're going to get residency, either way. One company that's real good on this is a company called Woodsright. It's a W-O-O-D-S R-I-G-H-T, and they've got they can actually help in the immigration process. Plus they have storage facilities if you want to store your stuff, like if you're going to be going off the island or something for a while before you actually move in your residency, whether you get residency or citizenship or whatever. So and they can take care of everything, the immigration process, everything. And they've got good movers too. So if you're bringing stuff in through a shipping company, and I'll tell you the best shipping company I found here is a company called Tropical. Okay, they have the cheapest rates that I've seen, and we're talking about for big items that you're going to be, shipping in large quantities coming in. And also, if you bring stuff in, if you're getting citizenship and you bring stuff in, you can avoid duty if you bring stuff in from 6 months from the time you get the citizenship. Now, things change on this, so you might have to check with customs because this is the way it was before. I haven't called like today or anything like this, so you might want to check before you actually bring your stuff in. But right now, or the last time I checked, you could bring your stuff in duty-free as long as you did it within 6 months of getting the citizenship. And just if you bring stuff in, don't you bring stuff in that's brand new that hasn't been at least 6 months old, and it's still wrapped up, you're going to have to, they might ask for some sort of proof that that's not a new item. Otherwise, they're going to hit with duty. These are used items that you bring in. So these are some things that can save you a lot if you're shipping your stuff in. Now, there are actually two ways that you can get, several ways you can get residency and live in St. Kitts. One of them is where you're setting up a business here. You don't really have to invest any money. It's probably one of those lenient residency by investment programs that I've seen out there at all. And in a country that has no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, with no major investment you've got to put in, or even a requirement for an investment, that's a good deal. And you don't have to get citizenship for that. Okay, now the way it works is you apply for that business. Now I'm going to tell you, if you're not a citizen with residency by investment, they could turn you down. Okay, they're not technically, they would not turn you down if you're a citizen, as long as you don't have some sort of criminal record. Of course, if you got some sort of criminal record, they want to approve you for the residency anyway. So, but when I say they won't, there are some examples. Depends on what you did, how long ago it was. Did you spend time in prison? There's a lot of different factors they look at. We can help you with that if you need to. You've got that sort of background issue. So if you're wanting residency here, like I said, I think it's one of the best in the world. Great weather, leads up to citizenship. You're looking at no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, almost no property tax. And with the internet, folks, you've got a business that you can run from literally from your apartment, because they don't require you to have an office here outside your home. But now, obviously, if you're coming from the medical, legal field, you're going to have to show different types of documents, education requirements, And there are some businesses too, okay? And I don't, because they change them with different administrations that come in. They could add it, they could delete it or whatever. But there are a lot of businesses here they will not let you get involved with, even if you have their education requirements. In fact, I gave y'all a scenario on a taping that I did on a video a while back, where I was a citizen, and for 4.5 years the government tried to keep me from working. I had to hire a lawyer, and we almost ended up in court, and they issued the license. I had citizenship. So I'm telling you, this is how tough they are. And they were telling me I wasn't born here. I said, it doesn't make any difference. If I got citizenship here, got all the rights everybody else does, except I can't run for public office. That's the only discrepancy between a regular citizen that's born in St. Kitts or one that that got it by the economic means. So that's how tough they are on citizenship. Even if I even had the citizenship and still had all these problems, okay? And I had to literally hire a lawyer and almost end up in court before they would issue the license. If you're coming in as a resident, getting permanent residency, now will they still let you work if you don't have citizenship? Yeah, there's people I know that can come here. Depends on what the business is. I will tell you this, you're a lot more likely to be able to do that if you come down here and you hire some people. And the more people you hire, and you come in with a business plan saying, hey, I want to hire this X number of people, then I can tell you, you're a lot more likely to be able to get in that business, okay? No guarantees, but I'm going to tell you, you come in and you're going to hire a lot of people, unless it's a protected business. If it's not a protected business, you can go in and do it. If it's a protected business opportunity, like cannabis, real estate, man, there's quite a few of them, then hiring people won't do you any good. You got to get the citizenship, okay? Once you do that, you can work just like everybody else does. Whether you're born here or you get it by economic means, doesn't make any difference, okay? And that's one thing, a drawback that you're going to run into with most countries, because as I mentioned to you before, many videos, Panama has a real protected schedule of things that you cannot do: real estate, retail, insurance. I mean, they got a list of things that you can't do. And until you're a citizen, it'll take you 10 to 15 years to get it. They'll tell you 5 years you can apply. That's bullcrap. You're not going to get it in 5 years. Paraguay says 3 years you can apply. You're not going to get it in 3 years. It's going to take you 7 to 15 years in both of those places, minimum, before you get the passport. And I can tell you, Panama, you're not going to get it in 7 years. I know people have been there 10 to 15 years, still haven't got it. Okay, and the government they don't even respond to them when they apply. It's just, it's a mess. So, I mean, the best way to do it, like I said, is to get citizenship if you want it fast. If you don't have the money for that citizenship, then you can go residency by investment. Literally, like I said, you don't have to put anything down, but you have no guarantee that you can get that residency, working, unless, like I said, the likelihood is better if you're going to hire some more people, and you put that in the business plan. And but they're going to expect you to do that. They're probably going to check up on you if they give you that option of getting residency, and then you don't hire those people. You could lose that worker's permit. Okay, and being a citizen, you don't have to pay a worker's permit fee starting off. You do if you're starting off working and getting residency, with the right to work without citizenship. Okay, so those are some options. Another way you can do it is to marry a national. That's a quick way. I would tell people, if that's your only way of getting citizenship, I think you're dumb to do it, because we've had people do that. It's all kinds of problems, and it's still not instant. You're going to have to wait for a while to even get that. That will be quicker than you just coming down by yourself, not married to somebody, and then working and then applying for citizenship, because it's going to take you 14 years when you reside in St. Kitts and you're working here. before you can apply for citizenship. It's 14 years, and it will probably take you, I'm being realistic, another year before you get the passport, okay? There is another option you can do without working, and that's permanent residency by purchasing a property. We didn't talk about, I'm not talking about citizenship, I'm talking about permanent residency. You buy a property, it's $300,000. It does not have to be in the citizenship zones because it has nothing to do with citizenship. It's permanent residency. You can buy it anywhere. It can be a lot, it can be a house, own a lot, it can be a condominium. And then the way it works is you can reside, get permanent residency without the right to work. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't set up a business. I'm telling you, you can't go out and apply for a job. That just applies you to come to St. Kitts and stay at St. Kitts as much as you want, okay? Without having to, renew your visa or anything like that, after 2 or 3 or 4 months, okay? But this is the thing right here. There is no guarantee if you get that property and you apply for your own business, doing whatever, that you're going to be able to do that business, okay? You're definitely, if you're going to try to get a job, but most people we deal with are self-employed people, so they're really not interested in going to work for anybody. They're looking for setting up their own business. And if you're setting up your own business, then and you can do that right out of your house. There is no requirement, like I said, to have an office. A lot of places do require it. When I was in Dubai, they do require it. You have to have an office there. Singapore requires it. Most places, when you go in and you're not a citizen and you're a permanent resident, they usually require you to have an office, okay? Now, the permanent residency, like I said, you would have to get a house. It's $300,000, and then you can apply for citizenship after 14 years, whether it's that option or you're working and you're just renting. So you can literally have a business here and just rent, not buy a property, and you can apply for citizenship after 14 years, or you can not have a business and then just buy a property that's $300,000 or above, and it can be anywhere, and you can qualify to apply for citizenship after 14 years. Now, I will tell you this, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get it, but this is the key right here. If you don't have any sort of criminal record, more than likely you're going to get that after 14 years. I haven't seen anybody not get it, okay? But there is no guarantee. And one thing is too, they don't have any sort of guidelines as far as how much you can be outside the country during that period. But I'll tell you this, if you do it, I mean, you can take off and leave, but I'll tell you something, if you're planning on, basically just taking off and leaving and never being in St. Kitts and come back in 14 years and get that passport, you're making a mistake on that, I can tell you. Now what they do to look at that after the 14 years is they look to see, you need to keep your receipts each year that you pay for your, to work, your fees to work here. And then that shows that you kept that in force for 14 years. They will get copies of your passport. So if you do away with your old passport, you need to, if it expires, you need to keep that, okay? Because that way, if you need to go back, you can show them, the times that you were here, okay? Because they will ask for that. More than likely, they're going to ask you for that. So these are some things that you want to be looking for, and how to go about doing this. And we can help you with the residency or the citizenship if you want either one of those. And one thing too that's nice about this, whether it's citizenship or residency, if you end up keeping your other passport, let's say you're a citizen of the U.S. and you come to St. Kitts, you can qualify for the foreign overseas exclusion, which right now it's $112,000 for husband, $112,000 for wife. if both of you work in the business, that's $224,000 a year that you can make totally tax-free, okay? And then the other exemptions you can get on top of that, but you got to qualify for the overseas exclusion. It's not just saying, hey, you've left the country. There are a certain number of days, and we got videos on that, that you've got to be outside the U.S. to qualify for that. If you're from a high-tax country like, Canada, Italy, places that tax your worldwide income based on residency and not citizenship, all you got to do is break those tax ties. Once you break those tax ties, then in that other country, you can live in St. Kitts totally income tax free. You're really better off if you're a U.S. citizen just relinquishing your U.S. citizenship. Then you don't have to mess with all this foreign overseas exclusion crap. That's the problem. And it beats the Puerto Rico program by a long shot. I've done videos on the Puerto Rico program. You can go back and look at that. I actually like the foreign overseas exclusion better than I do the Puerto Rico program for many reasons, which I've given other videos. So you can look at those. But the ultimate, like I've said before, is breaking your tax ties with that high tax country that taxes based on residency. Or in the case of the U.S., you need to relinquish your U.S. citizenship, or you can do a kind of a hybrid and qualify for the foreign overseas exclusion. That can get your taxes down quite a bit. But these are things that you really need to think about. And you don't have to be in St. Kitts all the time. Like I said, if you want to take off and leave, have your business here and take off and leave, be in Panama part of the time. If you want to be in other places, then you have that option to do that. And your business is still here. Just keep it renewed every year. And make sure you do that, because if you're not a citizen, it can be tough sometimes, depending on what you're applying for, to get that business. And if you let that license expire, and they change the law on that, I've never seen anybody get a business in a business opportunity here. They changed the law. I'll give you an example right here of a case that happened. There's a person that I know over in Nevis that's in real estate. This person's been in real estate for years and years and years, maybe 30 or 40 years. I don't know how many, but this person's been in real estate for years. This person never got citizenship. The only explanation I can tell you is that they either changed the laws, or somehow she got squeezed through the system, okay? But I can tell you, to try to do it today, no way, okay? You won't be able to do it. If you're not a citizen, you will not get a real estate license in St. Kitts or Nevis, I can tell you. This person just happened to squeeze through, and the laws could have changed. They could have gotten tougher. Maybe they weren't really enforcing the laws that much back then. There's just a lot of things that could have happened. I don't know. But if you get that license, don't let the thing expire. If you're planning on keeping it, you need to stay on top of it, because if it expires, you might not be able to renew the license unless you get citizenship, okay? That would be an expensive way if you don't plan on getting citizenship in St. Kitts and you got that license in place and you let it expire. I told you the trouble I went through, and I was a citizen, 4.5 years basically fighting that, okay? And if you're a permanent residency, man, you got nothing to stand on at all. They don't have to grant you nothing, okay? And it's just like this cannabis industry that just came out. You've got to be a citizen to actually get involved in that business opportunity. And they're real strict on protecting the business opportunities here, and that's why I say you're really better off getting citizenship and then going from there. If you want to learn more on this, again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And folks, don't forget, if you hit that subscribe button right at your screen, you get new videos automatically. We got just under 800. This is where you pick up a lot of good tips before you come down here, give you some great ideas, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.